Hello everyone, welcome to the session on tuple, or else you can also pronounce it as tuple. A tuple is similar to a list, except that a tuple is immutable. Whereas, as we have seen in the previous lecture videos, a list is mutable. Meaning, if I take a list L, say with three elements 10, 20, and 30, I can access the list elements using the index. So this list element at an index 1 would print me 10. I can also change the content of the list since it is mutable. I can say I'll change the content of the list element at an index 1 to say 100. And if I print this content of this list, now the output would be changed to 100. So the element 20 will be changed to 100. We can see it by printing the list itself. Now the 10, 100 and 30. The element 20 has been changed to 100. Whereas a tuple or a tuple is immutable. That's the only major difference between a list and a tuple. To create a tuple, say T, I'll take a tuple T. I'll take list of elements, say 10, 20 and 30. Separate these elements with comma, same as list, but a list is represented by the square brackets, whereas tuple use parentheses to represent a tuple. Now this is a tuple with three elements 10, 20 and 30, and accessing of the tuple elements are same as accessing the elements of a list, meaning I need to access the element of the tuple using indices. So if I say t of 1, so a tuple element at index 1, this would get me again 20. But since tuple is immutable, I cannot change the individual elements of a tuple once it is initialized. If I say I want to change the tuple element at index 1 to 100, and if I execute this would throw me an error. So tuple object does not support item assignment. You cannot change the tuple element, and tuple is immutable. So I'll comment this line. This won't work. Now, there are many ways to create a tuple. You can either specify the tuple elements within the parenthesis, or else, even if I say one more tuple t1 equals 10, 20 and 30 without the parenthesis, I have just separated the values with commas. Even this would create a tuple of three elements 10, 20 and 30. So if I print the tuple t1, so you can observe here, while creating, I have not used any parenthesis. After creating, if I print that tuple t1, so this prints a tuple, and you people can observe the parenthesis here. So both t and t1 are tuples. Next, if I want to create a tuple with single element, say I'll take a tuple t. If I want to create a tuple with single element, say 100, specify that element and end it with a comma, because If I just say t equals 100, this line is same as telling t equals a value 100. So both these lines mean the same. Therefore, this first line t equals 100 will not create you a tuple, rather it will create an object with a single value. That is, it will create a variable with the value 100. If I just print the type of the variable t here, and also if I print its value t, you can observe that this t is not a tuple, rather it is a variable of type int. And when I print the t, that is, I will just get an integer value rather than a tuple. So be careful. If I want to create a tuple with single element, end this with a comma. Now if I execute this, you can observe that the type of t is a tuple, and when I print the tuple, that is t, this is the output. A tuple with single element. Many operations which are allowed on list are same and allowed on tuples also. For example, if I have a tuple with four elements, similar to the slicing of list, I can perform the slicing on tuples also. If I say print tuple from 0th index to 4, that is, this will print me the values from 0, say I'll change this to 3. So this will print me from 0th index to 3 minus 1, that is index 2. So this should print me 10, 20 and 30. So I can perform the slicing operations on tuple same as list. I can use negative indices and all, and I can also print the tuple in access and print the tuple in reverse order. All those things are allowed. Uh, I can also perform the concatenation of tuples same as we had performed the concatenation on list. If I have, say if I have a tuple t with one element 10 and one more, say t2 with two elements 20 and 30. If I take one more tuple 3, which is equal to t plus and t2, this would concatenate the two tuples t and t2, and it will store the new concatenated tuple in t3. So if I print t3, I'll get the new tuple with three elements 10, 20 and 30. And one more feature of tuple is you can use a tuple on the left hand side of an assignment. That is, I can use, we called as tuple assignment. Say I have a variable a with value 10 and I need to assign a value 20 to one more variable b. Now I can combine these two and specify it in a single line, like I can say a comma b. Now this forms a tuple of two elements, a comma b equals, now I will specify a tuple here 10 comma 20. Now this line assigns a value 10 to variable a and value 20 to variable b. If I want to take one more value, I can say a comma b comma c equals 10, 20 and 30. Now if I just print the value of b, you can observe that b has been assigned a value 20. So the tuple can also be used not only on the RHS of an assignment but also on the left hand side of an assignment operator. Now, this helps us to solve many things, especially when we are iterating through a dictionary or a list. We can use this in a for loop or else on the left hand side of an assignment operator, and many of the things will be reduced. We can see it with an example. Say, suppose I have a dictionary D with three elements. So I have taken a dictionary D with three elements. So this dictionary D contains key and value pair. So the first element key is B and its value is 1. For the second element the key is A and its corresponding value is 2. And the last element the key is C and its corresponding value is 3. Now if I say, if I use a for loop, as we have seen in the tutorial for the programs on dictionaries, if I say for, say I in the dictionary dot keys, and if I say print I, sorry, right? Now this for loop, the function d dot keys will return me only the keys, that is B, A and C. Therefore, this for loop will run 3 times, and for each iteration, this variable I will be assigned with the values B, A, and C. For the first iteration, it will be B, next iteration A, last iteration, it will be I will be equal to C, and we are just printing it. Instead of keys, if I use D dot values, this will run, the for loop will run 3 times, and I will be assigned the values from the dictionary. There is one more function on dictionary called d dot items. So this method d dot items will return one element from the dictionary consisting of both the key and value pair for each iteration. So if I execute this, you can see that in the first iteration, the variable I has been assigned the item B and 1, and this is a tuple. So in the first iteration, the dictionary item, which consists of the key and value pair, will be returned as a tuple. In the next iteration, the second item, the key A and its value 2, has been returned as a tuple, and we are storing it in I and printing it. In the next iteration, the key and the value pair C and 3 has been returned in the form of a tuple. So this method d dot items will return you the items present in a dictionary as tuples. I can also specify a tuple directly inside this for loop. Instead of I can specify for the key and the value pair present in d dot items, print the key and also value pair. Now for the first iteration, this B, key value B will be assigned to K, the value 1 will be assigned to V. For the second iteration, key value A will be assigned to K, and this value 2 will be assigned to V. So if I execute this, you can check it out. So the value of K is B and value of V is 1 for the first iteration. For the next iteration, it becomes A and 2, and the next iteration C and 3. So This is a simple example to show that the tuples can be used with the dictionaries, and also the tuples can be directly used inside a for loop. Next, um, we'll see how to sort the dictionary elements in ascending order. I will copy paste the same code. Now, I need to print the contents of dictionary in ascending order. Meaning, I want to first print this item A and its value, next B and its value, next what is the value of C. We have seen the same example in the video for the dictionary programs without using the tuples. Now we'll see the same example by using the tuples, and you can see that the code will be reduced. That's the length of the code can be reduced further. What I'll do is we'll take a list L, say empty list. Now this list does not contain any elements and there is a dictionary with 3 elements. I need to just print these contents, the dictionary contents in reverse order. So I'll run a for loop on the dictionary using d dot items, and instead of printing this, we'll say list dot append. So we'll be appending the key and value pair as a tuple for the list. And you people need to specify the separate parentheses. These parentheses are for the function append, and this parenthesis is to denote a tuple. So the key and value pair which has been extracted from the dictionary is converted to a tuple, and we are appending it to a list. Now if I print the list content, you can see that this dictionary D has been converted to a list. So these square brackets represent list. List of 3 elements. I have 3 elements inside this list, and each element is a tuple. So I have converted the dictionary to list of tuples. This is how we people convert a dictionary to list of tuples. Now, instead of using this for loop and iterating through the dictionary and then appending into a list, we can make this much more simpler. We can just tell the list L equals whatever items are extracted from the dictionaries. So d dot items will return me all the items of the dictionary in the form of tuple. I will be typecasting that the object which is returned to list. So if I just tell this, so this means extract the items in the form of tuples and store it in a list L. Now if I execute this, you will get the same output. So we have taken an empty list. I have a dictionary. I'm saying d dot items. So this extracts all the items in the form of tuples. I'm typecasting it to a list and storing it in L. Once I have this, I can say sort the list, L dot sort. Then if I print the list, so this list has been sorted. based on this first value of each item. So first A, next B, next C. Now I have a sorted list. So I have printed all the the dictionary elements in ascending order. Suppose if you people want to format the output, if I just don't want to print the entire list, if I want to print only the key and its value pair in each line, I can run a for loop on this. For say an element present in list L, that is this list present in list L, I will print the element. Now if I execute this, you can see for the first for loop I have extracted the first element and I have printed it. In the next iteration of the for loop, the second element is printed. For the last iteration, this element is printed. I can still format this further. Instead of using, now this element will be a tuple in each iteration. I can directly specify two tuple variables here for the key and value present in list. So for the first iteration, this will be the key, this will be the value. For the next iteration, this will be the key, this will be the value. For the last iteration, C will be the key and 3 will be the value. So I'll print key, say along with the value. Now if I execute this, so the formatting has changed. So the dictionary contents have been printed in sorted order. First A, next B, next C. Next, one more example, last example on the application of the tuples. We'll see how to find and print the length of each word in a given string. Suppose I have taken a string, say str or s, this is a line. So I have a string line, say good day everyone, and I need to find and print the length of each word. Good as 4, day is 3, and everyone is 8. To do this, I'll say I'll convert the string to a list. So I'll use the split function, the string dot split, and I will store it in a say a list L, which contains all the words. Therefore, I'll say this is list containing all the words. If I print this list, you can see the string has been converted to a list of words. Next, we can access each word in that list using a for loop. Say, for each word present in the list, that is the list of words, we'll find the length of each word. Say n equals the length of word, and I'll print the value of n. So if I execute this, so this for loop will iterate 3 times, and each time I'm finding the length of the word. First length is 4, next one the length is 3, next one the length is 8. Instead of printing this, what we'll do is we'll take a tuple of, say, the length of the word and the actual word, and we will append it, say, to one more list. We can take a, say, this is a list containing both length and words. So I'll say uh, new list ln dot append. I'll append this tuple to a new list, and before to that we need to, I will initialize the new list, say nl list n is an empty list. Now if I print the content of the new list, you can see that this was the list of words, and we executed a for loop on it, and each time we appended the length of the word and the actual word to one more new list. So this is the new list, the 4 and the length and the word, one more element, the length and the word, and one more element, length and the word. So we have printed the length and the word present in the given string. Suppose I want to sort this in, say, ascending order. I want the shorter word first and the lengthier word at the end. I can say list dot sort. Then if I call this function, so you can see this, the list has been sorted based on the length of the word. If you people want to sort it in reverse order, say suppose you want the word with the highest length first and the word with the least length at the end, you can change the order by using reverse equals true. Now if I execute this, the list is sorted in descending order of word length. So this is how you people print the length of each word, say in descending order. Suppose if I don't want to print the length and the word both, if I want to print only the words in descending order based on the its length, I don't want to print the actual length here. I can execute a for loop again on this. Say for the element present in this list, and the list was the new list, and if you people can observe, each element in the list is a tuple. So if I execute this for loop will execute 3 times because 3 tuples are present in this list, and the type of this element will be a tuple. I can directly specify for the key and value pair present in this list. So the first iteration, it will be sorry, first we have a value, then the string here. So I'll take for the length, or else I'll take for length and word. So I'll take L and W for the length and word present in list. For the first iteration, this is the length, this is the word. For the next iteration, this is the length and this is the word. For the last iteration, the length L will be 3 and word W will be day. So I'll say for length and word present in list L, I'll just print the word. Now if we execute this, we can see that the words have been printed in descending order of their length. So this is how you people find the length of each word, sort it, and you can also print it in ascending or descending order.